Most people think freedom starts with a big break. In reality, it usually starts with an amount of money so small, it gets ignored. In the last episode, you were shown the invisible cash flow loop the wealthy quietly run in the background of their lives. Not flashy, not exciting, just systems that keep money circulating back to them while everyone else stays stuck, trading hours for paychecks. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear. The reason wealth feels impossible isn't because you don't earn enough. It's because most of your money never builds anything. It passes through your hands and disappears. Today, that changes, because now you're going to see 3 real cash flow loops. You can start with about $100. No inheritance, no trust fund, no lottery fantasy. Just boring, repeatable systems that compound if you protect them long enough. And before you dismiss that number, think about this for a second. $100 is what many people spend without thinking. A couple of dinners, subscriptions they forgot to cancel, impulse buys that don't even register emotionally. But in the right structure, that same $100 can become the seed of a system that keeps paying you back over and over again. Here's the mindset difference. Most people ask, how much did I make this month? Wealthy people ask, what system did my money build? That question alone separates income from independence. And today, you're going to walk through 3 specific loops that answer it. No hype, no shortcuts, just mechanics. And stay with me because the 3rd loop is the one almost nobody talks about, even though it's the closest thing to creating a money machine from thin air. But first, let's get clear on what a cash flow loop actually is. This is not I spend money and I make money. That's an income moment. A true cash flow loop is a system where money gets deployed, generates income, and that income feeds back into the same structure to make it stronger. Over time, the loop becomes less dependent on your time and more dependent on how well it's built. You don't earn once. You create a circuit. Most people build moments. The wealthy build loops. The first loop you can start today is the micro reselling cash flow loop. This one doesn't require a personal brand, advanced skills, or a big audience. It requires a smartphone, curiosity, and discipline. That's it. Here's how it works. You take around $100 and you hunt for underpriced items in the real world. Thrift stores, clearance racks, garage sales, estate sales, anywhere inefficiency exists. And you're not guessing. You're not hoping. You're using your phone to check sold listings on platforms like eBay or similar marketplaces to see what things actually sell for, not what sellers wish they were worth. You might buy something for $10 that consistently sells for $30 online. You clean it up, take clear photos, write an honest description, and list it. This isn't about being clever. It's about being consistent. You only need to learn 1 or 2 categories. Something you're willing to nerd out on just enough to recognize value. Vintage t-shirts, old power tools, college textbooks, sneakers. The category doesn't matter. Familiarity does. Now here's where this becomes a loop instead of a one-time flip. Imagine your first $100 batch turns into $170 after fees and shipping. Most people stop right there. They think, nice, extra $70, and they spend it. That's where the loop dies. In a real cash flow loop, the move is different. You reinvest the entire $170 back into inventory. Now your next buying round is stronger, more items, better deals, higher margins. Do this repeatedly, and that original $100 stops being money you spent. It becomes an engine, a small one at first, but an engine nonetheless. This is where most people quietly break the loop without realizing it. They treat profits like bonus cash instead of fuel, because they've never labeled it as a system. It feels like side money, and side money always gets spent, but when you name it, something changes. This is my reselling loop. This money does not leave the system. You give it rules, and rules protect the loop from your impulses. So ask yourself this honestly. Could you take $100, pick one category, and give yourself 90 days to run this loop without withdrawing a single dollar? Because if you can, you're not just making extra money. You're training the exact muscle wealthy people rely on every day, allocating capital into a system and letting structure do the work. The second loop turns $100 into something even more powerful than inventory. It turns it into a skill that pays you repeatedly, not a degree, not a 4-year plan, a targeted, practical skill the market already pays for. Here's how this loop works. Step 1, you invest that $100 into one very specific skill path. Not something vague like marketing, narrower, short-form video editing, simple website setups, thumbnail design, email cleanup. Your $100 goes into a focused online course, a couple of highly rated books, or a basic tool you need to practice. Step 2, you offer that skill as a simple service, not to everyone, to a very specific group that clearly benefits. Local coaches who need better YouTube thumbnails, real estate agents who want their listings turned into short-form videos, small businesses that need clean, functional websites. Your goal is not to be the best in the world. Your goal is to be reliable enough to solve a clear problem for a small group of people. Step 3 is where the loop forms. The money you earn doesn't just become income. It flows back into the system. You use your first payments to upgrade tools, buy better templates, or take a more advanced course so you can raise your prices. Invest in the skill, deliver the service, earn, reinvest, repeat. But there's a trap here that kills this loop quietly. People expect instant mastery and instant money. When they don't get a client in the first week, the story in their head becomes, this doesn't work. I'm not good enough. The market is too crowded. But the truth is, most markets aren't saturated with talent. They're saturated with quitters. If you stick with one lane for 90 to 180 days, you become rare, and rare things get paid. Think about this. If you took $100 and used it only to build one simple skill, what would your life look like a year from now if that skill reliably brought in a few $100s a month? That's no longer side money. That's rent money. Debt-destroying money. That's your first personal income engine. Now the third loop is the most powerful and the most overlooked. Instead of reselling items or trading time for services, this one uses $100 to create digital assets that can be sold over and over again. This could be a simple guide, a Notion template, a checklist, a paid newsletter. And here's the important part. It doesn't require you to be an expert. It only requires you to be one step ahead of someone else. Step 1. You take the knowledge you already have and package it into something useful. Maybe you learned a skill from the second loop. You turned that into a starter template pack, a beginner's guide, a simple framework. Your $100 might go toward a basic microphone, simple design software, or a small promotion budget. Step 2. You publish that asset where people are already searching. Platforms don't matter as much as clarity. Step 3. Every time that asset generates income, you treat it like a signal, not spending money, a signal that something works. That money flows back into better visuals, improved versions, or additional content that drives traffic. Over time, you're earning because something you created once keeps working for you. And here's the surprising part. Many digital asset loops don't start with massive, polished courses. They start with something small, a $5 template that sells a few times a week. It feels insignificant until you realize you made it once. It keeps selling, and you can stack multiple small assets into a network of tiny income streams. This is where the mindset shift becomes obvious. Most people are trained to sell time. Wealthy people look for ways to own assets. A digital asset is the most beginner-friendly version of that idea. You're learning how to make something once and get paid again and again. Ask yourself this: what problem have you already solved for yourself that someone else is still struggling with? So now you've seen 3 loops. You can start with roughly $100. Reselling, skill to service, digital assets. None of them requires genius. All of them require patience. And all of them force the same question, not how fast can I spend this, but what loop can this $100 build for me? Some people will hear this and think, interesting, maybe someday. Others will protect that $100 like it's the seed of their future and start building today. If you want more breakdowns of money systems, the way school never taught them, like the video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which loop you'd start first. This isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about building money loops that quietly change your life.